Good afternoon and welcome to Friday with Fiona. And this week I'm using the Fancy Borders bundle. So it's a stamp set and dies. I've already got the dies out, so you'll see those as I go through. And I'm going to do something with this stamp set here. And I love these fonts, special delivery, sent with love. And you might already have seen me use them on the little suitcase boxes I put inside for my cousin's birthday present. So it's lovely set, and the paper that I'm using is beautiful bokeh, but I never know how to say it. It's this where you've got this sort of fuzzy background image, so we're using those papers today. Okay, so hopefully I've got everything ready. The first card we do, and I'm using the notelets again. I had kind of completely forgotten about them, and then when I used them 2 weeks ago, because I wasn't here last week, I thought, I need to be using them more. So this is a fun one, and so they are what they say they are. They're borders and edges. So I've taken this piece of designer series paper, and it's got sort of blues and pinks and purples in, and then on the other side you've got berry burst, but that won't go with the flower. So, and the flower is from Impressions of Bloom, which I've just got, and so I'm just starting to play with. So, and the notelets come with envelopes, which is good. And don't tell me no, it's tucked right in the corner and it doesn't want to come out. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue that on so that can be drying while we do everything else. And I hope everybody's managing to stay cool in this heat wave that we're having. I was sitting in the garden until just a little while ago, and there was a nice breeze. In fact, it was a bit more than a breeze. So, okay, so what I did was, I've already done it because I needed to do it on my big cut and emboss machine, and there's no room on my desk. This is one of the borders, so I just sellotaped it down, ran it through, and now I'm going to peel that off. You can use that for another card. I'll probably trim that off and use it. I'm just going to peel that off. And I put it down with low tack sellotape just to hold it in place, although I think I'm still a bit squiffy. And then this designer series paper measures 12.6 by 8.9. So it's a full side. Let me just fold this in half and use my bone folder. If you were putting it as a mat, it would cover the entire thing, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the inside. Okay, like that. So I'm just going to pop some glue along the edge. And then I'm going to do it along. Whoops, I nearly got that all over me. Just checking them on the screen. The glue isn't really runny because of the heat, which makes a nice change, I have to say. I usually struggle to get it out. So I'm running my paper up to the fold. Lining it up with the sides. And if it's too long, you can always trim it off afterwards. Just want to make sure it's straight. Now I've got some on my hand. Let's just rub that off. Stampin' Up used to do these glue remover rubbers, but I got this from Amazon, and you can see I wasn't quite straight, but it's not too noticeable. And then it's just a fraction too long, so I'm just going to trim that. Oh, I've said everything flying. That wasn't very clever. Right, let's just trim that. So that's the first part of our card done, and you can see how simple that was. Just a little bit of die cutting and trimming down your designer series paper, and then I'm going to just stamp my sentiment, and I'm using Secret C. I'm absolutely in love with this colour of ink for sentiments, and anything else is gorgeous. Okay, just gonna lay that there. Just because, and that's not straight either. I should have done that first, but never mind. When I put my flower on, it won't be too obvious. Now I'm just going to take my bond folder and give the flowers a little bit of a curl. I mean, obviously, if you're posting it, they're going to get flattened anyway. Okay, and I didn't want to put dimensionals because I'm trying to keep it flat. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue right there. Okay, now I use the twine from Pack Your Bags, and it's Shy Shamrock, but I actually think it's too bright, so I'm actually going to go for some twine if I can find it. Nope, that's too bright as well. Let's go for the gold. Looks like I haven't got a normal twine, so I need to get one. So I think I've told you I'm waiting for carpal tunnel surgery, but my hand is getting quite bad. I keep dropping things if I manage to pick them up in the first place with my right hand. So let's get that out of the way. Okay, so I just need a little ribbon. So I'm working in a space that's, I don't know, 15 inches by 15 inches. It's not big. My desk is tip, but my stepson came to stay, so I had a couple of respite days, which was lovely. And so the spare room, which kind of is my overflow craft room, has ended up in here. So I've got no room to move at all. I really need to sort it all out. This gold twine is on Last Chance, and it's reduced to something ridiculous. I don't know, £2, something like that. I think that's better than the green. So what I'm going to do is I think I've shown you this before, take a glue dot, but I'm going to roll it up. Can you see that? And then I'm going to pop my twine on that and pop it underneath the flower. Like so. Oh, it's stuck to the tweezers. There we go. I think that's better than the green. I think the green is, I'll change that over. So that's card number 1. So you can see how straightforward and quick and simple that was. The second one is a bit more long-winded, just because there's some stamping and colouring involved. So I don't want to lose that die. Let me pop that back. So I've got 2 more that I'm using. But this one, this card is all about the stamping. So again, we've got card base in the envelope, and I'm just going to fold it and use my bone folder. Give it a good crease. Now, where is the one I'm using? There it is. Okay, so basically it's just the card, the little notelet, and then I stamped that image, this one, top and bottom, and then I did the sentiment in the middle. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to do the sentiment first and then do top and bottom, and then a very quick bit of colouring. And the thing that probably takes the time is the fussy cutting. I know those of you go, oh, fussy cutting, but it really doesn't take very long. No, I said I wasn't doing that first. I was going to do my sentiment first. So, let's see how much. Yeah, so I need to do it this way. A little hello with a lot of love. I like that. Why is it not taking the ink? Didn't think it'd take any ink, and then I'll push it down too hard. So I'm just going to do tap, tap, tap. There we go. And then in the middle, let's get that straight, lined up. A little hello with a lot of love. Okay, that's that one. And then I'm going to do this top and bottom. And I'm just eyeballing it. You could measure it and use pencil marks, but I'm just eyeballing it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Beautiful stamp. So I'm trying to line up the line. Okay, there we go. Just give those a quick clean with my chamois. One thing I forgot to mention is that, well, more than one actually, you'll get a free kit with everything you need to make these, except for the sentiments, but I will die cut everything for you when you spend £25 in my online store. And at the moment, the last chance list has just been updated with amazing bargains. I did Old Olive, I think. Well, I won't be doing Old Olive because I just dropped it and it's disappeared. So let's do Granny Apple Green. Where was it? Yeah, the last chance has just been updated with the most amazing bargains. I mean, dies that were £30 for £9.60. So I'm doing the dark, just going over the stems. And then there's also the sweet sale. Sweet as in SUITE, suite of products. So anything that you buy from a suite, the second item from a suite will be 50% off. And it doesn't have to be the same suite, but you need to be very careful. If you're buying a whole suite, so say the Kintsugi, which I think is £73 for 12 by 12 designer series paper, stamp set, dies, gems, embossing folder, that's all £73. But then if you wanted to have some other designer series paper, you'd get the 50% off the designer series paper, which is crazy. You're better off getting either a bundle or something or another suite to make the maximum discount. It's cheaper to do separate orders and pay the postage again than it is to, you know, lose out by having gems or designer series paper. So I did a couple of orders. I got 2 suites, so I got 50% off my second suite, and then I did another order with 2 designer series paper, so I got 50% off my second designer series paper. And also, if you do the most expensive items first, then you can use your Stampin' Rewards, which is what I did for the second one. So it's a really great time. And it's the first time Stampin' Up's done a sale like this. Can't really see these ones, but never mind. It's not as I thought it was going to be much lighter, so I'm quite pleased it's not. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find my old olive. It's gone right underneath my trolley, which I can't move at the moment. Okay, so that's the top. Let's do the bottom. So it won't take a minute. The longest thing about this card is the fussy cutting. So I will be as quick as I can and probably not as careful as I normally would be. Slightly got outside the lines there as well. Right, that's the colouring done. Now I want my paper slips. And I know I've said this before, but move the paper, not the scissors. There we go. This is the trickiest part, I find. Get rid of that bit. Just seeing what I did on the other one. The alternative is you could just cut straight across. But I've started cutting now, so. And you don't need to worry about the white edges because it's going above white, they won't show. It's really clever optical illusion. Okay, to save time, I'm just going to cut the bottom bit, I think. How are we doing for time? Okay, and then the next card I think is my favourite. As I said, this is the fiddliest bit of this card. I kind of fizzy cutting, quite therapeutic, quite calming. getting rid of the excess. And as I said, I'm trying to be as quick as I can, so I'm probably not being as careful as I normally would be. There we go. There we go. Let's just get rid of all this paper. Okay, so you can see I've got sort of jagged edges and things, but when you put it on there, you can't actually see. So I'm just going to pop it on with some, it would take a lot of dimensional, so I'm going to use the foam strips. Let's just see how wide that is. That's probably perfect, actually, up to about there. Nope. I'm just going to pop that on, make sure it's the right way up. There we go. So it's pretty. It is quite a bit of work, that one. So I probably, but you could go over with Wink of Stella and make it a little bit more. It's okay. So that's card number 2. So that wasn't quite so quick. This one I think is my favourite. This one. So it's 2 die cuts, sorry, and a stamp. So I've die cut. I've lined up how I did it on my grid paper. So I put them against where I'd already done it, lined them up to try and get them straight on my grid paper, and held them down with removable sellotape. Famous last words. There we go. Coming off. That's it. So that's the edge, the fancy border edge, and then this one. And again, we're doing the trick with the designer series paper. It's got all the leaves in, so I'll just drop that and they will pop out. And so that's the whole set of fancy dies. I haven't used that one. I used that previously on a Friday with Fiona, and I haven't used that one. That one looks great for like a topper if you're doing gift bags and things. So let's get these leaves out of the way. These would be great for a shaker card. Okay. Fold, oops, with my bone folder, get a good crease. I've just got some adhesive from the sellotape. Okay, so now I need my designer series paper. And I've got another flower from the Flowers of Bloom. Let's get that little bit into the middle. I think that is Strawberry Slush I've used, one of the new in colours. I say new, it was around a few years ago and it's come back. Actually 10 years ago, I think. Okay, there we go. Let's pop that to one side. So again, this bit actually is slightly shorter. Now, why did I do that? No idea why I did that. But oh, I haven't got my leaves, my stems out. There we go. So I'm just going to line that up with the bottom of the card. Pop some glue along the top. And the side. And then I can put some, whoops, put some glue along here. And down the side. I'm just going to line it up again. And the reason for using wet glue is it gives you a few seconds to adjust. Got some bits of the adhesive in there. Lovely. Didn't need it up there. Made a mistake. So I'm going to get that off. Another way to get adhesive to stop sticking is to use your embossing buddy. And that'll come off really easily then. So, how not to glue a piece of designer series paper to a card. I'm not quite sure why I cut it down. I must have not had enough left in that colour. There we go. It's all gone now. No, it's still there. Ah, it's always useful. It's how not to do something. So it's come off now. I'll get that off later. So that's the front. And so I've got my flowers to go in the middle there. And I'm going to use a dimensional for that. And then I'm going to just stamp this little heart in the middle there. There we go. So that's it. 2 quick and easy note cards. I mean, the using the designer series paper in the background is so straightforward, and I do prefer that with the gold. I'm going to take that one off and replace it. Let's get that out of the way. So that's card 1, card 2, and then obviously card 3 was a little bit more work, but I still think it's lovely. And that one I did the closer together. That one's a bit further apart. So, but yeah, lovely little cards in the notelets. And a couple of weeks ago I made a box to fit note cards in, so you can always go back to that and make a box to keep them in. Okay, don't forget, if you spend when you spend £25 in my store, I'll send you a kit I'll die cut everything for you, the flowers, the edges. I can't send you any stamped images, so I won't be able to send you card 2. So you'll get 2 each of cards 1 and 3. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget the sweet sale as well and the last chance. Hope you can keep cool in this hot weather. Have a great weekend.